Okay. How are all you guys? Are you wonderful? Like hands up. Woo. Okay, so we're going to be doing form fitting today. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to spotlight myself and I'll spotlight my hand. And then you'll be able to see both my face, and what we're doing. So this will be super helpful for everybody. And one more. All right, we'll admit some more people. And then we're going to spotlight. That spotlight. There we go. How'd that work? That worked pretty good, right? Can you guys believe that this is not a real hand? Is this amazing? Yeah, not a real hand. I always do this, like scare people a little bit. Check this out. So there, I know it looks like torture. It's not really. So, okay, so let's go ahead and get going. So we're going to talk for a few minutes today about form fitting. Now, how many of you guys struggle with form fitting? I know that when I first started doing nails, right? Like a lot of us think, oh my gosh, we can do this. It's no big deal. I got this. But you know what? I'm going to show you some tips. I'm going to show you some tricks of things that are going to be very beneficial. Now, I'm sure you saw from all of my photographs that there's a ton of different forms out there. I have all of these different ones and they all have different looks and they all have different shapes. Something that you want to make sure is that the form that you choose, you want it to work for you, of course, but something that I can say without a shadow of a doubt is you want to make sure that it has like these wide, I call them wings, basically. They're like wings. You want to make sure that they have wings. Sorry, let me admit a couple more people. All right. So all of the ones that I have like these wings. They're nice and thick. Now, for example, this is a Tammy Taylor form and it's double thick. So it's extra thick. But then one like this one is artistic and it's not that thick. So just kind of, those are the things that you guys will just want to figure out on your own, which one you like, which one you don't. But let's talk about how we are going to cut a form to custom fit our clients. Now, how many of you have a client that walks in and you look at their nails and you're like, wow, that's a beautiful nail, nice and long, but they want them even longer. You think, oh, we're just going to slide this form right under there and everything's going to be fine. Wrong. First thing we need to do when we're preparing our nail is we need to shorten these natural nails and get them into a nice, smooth, like rounded edges. Did you know that? Like a lot of people don't even know that. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to shorten this nail down and I'm actually just going to use my tip cutters. So here's my tip cutters. Shorten that bad boy down. And then we're going to file it into a nice rounded shape. Now, why? Why are we doing it into a nice rounded shape? So have you ever done a set of nails? You thought, oh, they're so beautiful, but you didn't take down those corners and you go to start filing it and those little corners pop out like little devil horns. Have you ever had that happen? I have had that happen. So the trick to getting rid of that is to make sure that you smooth out those corners, remove the corners, get them out of the way. So now we have a short natural nail and we have our nice corners out of the way. Okay, we'll brush her out of the way. Now for this nail, we're just going to do our basic square or swivel type fit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these and I'm going to use a variety of different forms today. Okay, so this is Crystal Extreme. This is an old form from Crystal Nails. Okay, I want to show you guys that there's a variety of things that you can use them a variety of different ways. So, okay. So the first thing you do is we're going to remove the entire thing and we're going to take the little dot. Now, how many of you threw these away? a lot of like, yeah, you guys are doing it. You threw it away. This is what you need to do. You want to put it right here in the middle of the form like this, straight up and down, never crooked. You could do this way if you want, but it's really best just to keep it like that. This will give you extra strength when you're sculpting. So that's number one. And you flip it over and you break it in the back. Well, now, if you have them where they are not perforated, just take your scissors and cut them, but you always want that split, okay, always. And then our nails don't grow like flat, right? They grow rounded. So we need to maneuver this and kind of roll it back and forth to make this more pliable to slide under that natural nail. Our nails grow this way. So now we pull up our hand and we think, all right, I got this. I'm gonna slide this right under there. Looks good. Want to make sure it fits good. This is where things can get a little tricky, right? So let me like move Esmeralda's hand. She changes every week. I change her name every week. Last week it was Penelope. All right, so you want to use these lines to your advantage. I'll use my little scissors here. Use these lines to your advantage. This thick line right here, this is the middle. You always want this thick line right down the middle, right? And then if you're doing a square nail or a swivel nail, you always want to make sure that your acrylic or gel, whatever you're using, follows that line on the outside as well. Something else you want to do. We want to cut 45-degree angles where this meets up with our natural nail. So let's say this is our free edge. We have our form here, kind of angled right towards the middle. We want to cut it here in a 45, and we want to cut it here in a 45. Can you guess why we do that? It's kind of like you're thinking to yourself, I don't know, I'm not sure. I've seen people do it, but I don't know why. You know, it kind of acts like a corset to your fingernails, right? I mean, you can make your nails nice and slender and thin. You know, I wear a corset if I'm going to try and look all good, right? So that's what this does. You cut your corners, okay, 45 here, flip it, 45 here. This also acts as a really good measurement for if you're getting ready to do pinching. I don't know if you're familiar with pinching. That's more of like extreme shaping, things like that. But let's go ahead and see how this works. So slide it under here. Oops. It is so hard to work with these little hands, isn't it? All right, make sure we got that. It's either that or I go grab my son and then he has like gigando hands. All right, slide that under there, all the way around. Push it back here in the back. And this is where those little tabs overlap, right? Now, sometimes if you're working with, you know, trainer hands and you're trying to practice, they struggle. They have a hard time staying put. If you have electrical tape, sometimes that works really well. You just take electrical tape and like wrap it around there. But then you want to make sure that this is nice and tight all the way under, and then move those little wings right out of the way. Now you're going to be able to apply, move this so it stays there, your acrylic or your gel or whatever it is. Now let me show you a side view. Okay. When you are doing, my gosh, this is so hard to get it to stay. There we go. Okay. When you are doing a square or a swivel nail, you want to make sure that this form is perpendicular to the finger, or not perpendicular, it's parallel. It comes straight out. There's no gapping here. So there's no seepage of your gel or your acrylic, and it is straight. This is completely straight. Something else, you always want your little wings to match perfectly. If you were to do them, so you want them to come together like this, right? Like side by side. If you do it like this, your nails are going to twist. And that's like no control of your own. It's no fault of your own. You always just want them together. So if at some point you feel like, oh my goodness, this is stressing me out, you could always just take your form before you slide it on your customer, and you can do this. Turn your back. You can actually kind of put these two little pieces together here just to kind of get it where you need it. Okay. If you need to do that before you slide it on your client, by all means, but at least then you know that you're not wonky, you're not cattywampus, it's going to be straight. Okay. So this is wonderful, just like that. Okay. So we did just square, just slide her right off, right? Square nail or swivel nail, and you learned it has to be straight down the nail. Now, how many of you, when you first started putting forms in, you thought, oh, I'll just angle it down because it slides up so nice and easy? That's fine. You can angle it down, but you have to angle it down for the proper shape. Angling down, like if you were to go like this, move it down, here we go. Angle it down like this from the natural nail, a little closer. There we go. That's going to be more for like your almond shape or your oval shape. That's when you're going to angle it down a little bit. Okay. So if it's straight, that's for square and swivel. You angle it down a little bit. That's for like almond or oval or round. Okay. Does that make sense? Now tell me that's not, you guys didn't know that before, right? It's like, oh, okay. Interesting. I thought it was like one size fits all, right? So great. Also, if you're going to angle it down, something else you'll notice is, I'm just going to throw that one over here. Okay. Grab our little guy again. If you're going to angle it down, ooh, I will show you about a ski jump nail. What a great question. Okay. So you angle it down just a little bit like this. Make sure your little corners are fit. Back here, your little tails are actually going to overlap a lot more back here than if you were doing square, right? Does that make sense? It's like, it's all geometry at this point, right? So that's all part of that. Much better. And then of course you'd cut your 45 and your 45 here. Okay, so let's talk about ski jump nails. Okay, so the very first thing that I showed you is that you have to shorten that natural nail, shorten. If you can shorten the natural nail to where your form just barely like slides right under there, that's really what you need to do, right? Oh, here, let me admit a couple more people, right? Here we go. All right, got a couple more. Okay, so shorten that natural nail as much as you can. The ski jump nails, oftentimes they're, see if I can, they are going to be ski jump from all the way back here. So then they come out this way. That ski jump gets especially bad at the free edge. So if you can, really shorten it, then when you're building for your structure, that's where you compromise the ski slope like this, and you're able to add more product this way. Okay, so something to remember. And we're not covering it today, but down the road in one of our classes, we'll be talking about pinching and how that pinching really benefits you as far as structure, even when you have troublesome nails. Okay, like so good, so good. Okay, let me pull up the chat here because I just saw a couple more questions. Ah, yes, when someone's nail is not even. Yoo-hoo. Okay, I'm going to show you that because it's like you read my mind. Check this out. Oh, and what hand is this? Okay, so I will tell you all. So I have been working with several different manufacturers to get a hand specifically for Mirage Spa Education. And that is the school that I actually have been working with. And the school is great. They have their very own store. It's called the nailtech store.ca. And I'm working with this manufacturer of this hand to get it specifically for the nail tech store. So that's to answer that question. Okay, so let's move this one out of the way and let's move on. So here is, for example, a short Like, let's even make it shorter. All right, a short, you know, the nail biters, you know, the people that bite their fingernails. My youngest son does this. He bites them so far down. Okay. We can still make a form fit there. But what we want to do is we want to try and soften those corners just a little bit. Okay. So it's not a lot, just a little. Do that. Soften that corner just a little bit. And you know, you're still going to go through all of your preparation. Let's go ahead and grab a form. All right, let's grab one of these. This is Entity. Little different, same thing. Always add to your free edge there. Split in the back. Roll it between your fingers because that's where you're going to want it to be, you know, like this hand, right? This finger. And I want you to notice something here. Okay. This, come up nice and close. This is rounded. And this is more square. This is adhered to the natural nail, to the nail bed. We cannot round that off anymore. So what do? We want to try and make this fit together like a puzzle piece. So we'll go like this. I'm kind of scratching it in how we're going to cut it. This is where my little tiny scissors come into play. Okay. Yep, the reason we take the center dot out, so you want to put it here because you want that extra strength as you're getting ready to sculpt, especially as time, like as you go down the road and you are doing more extreme nails, or let's say you want to, like a beautiful French, and you decided to do reverse application. So you do the pink first, and now you have the smile line and you're filing that smile line. You want the extra strength so that you can get a very crisp smile line. And it really does help you down the road to be able to apply very thin without like, filing. Yeah, pile and file. You don't have to pile and file. I hope that answers that question for you. So, okay. So I scratched in to this little guy, the square shape of this nail. Okay, so let's go ahead and take it and we're going to cut this. So I have my tiny little scissors here. See if I can see my little scratch marks. And we're going to cut it like this and over a little bit. Hello. And like this. So now you see it. It's kind of like a nice little square shape, which actually matches. Go ahead and mute. There we go. Okay, which actually matches this nail. So now we still roll it in between our fingers. Did you see that? Did you see how beautifully that fit? Now that's simple, right? It's not rocket science, but it's like, why do we not think about doing these things? Forms are not one size fits all. They just are not. You've seen I have like 6 or 7 different forms right here. So now we can slide it right in, and then we would cut our 45-degree angle here, and we would cut our 45-degree angle here. Okay. Super easy. Right? It's kind of cool. Tell me it's kind of cool. I think it's cool when you're like, oh my gosh, it's like an aha moment. Okay. Now, Christine had asked a question about what if the nail it doesn't grow even. Okay. Now, I'm sure all of you have clients that are like that. I know I am this person. Something you don't know about me. I had my finger cut off in a door when I was 7, and they had to do plastic surgery to replace it. So I have a fingernail that grows like this. Like my natural nail bed grows like this. It's actually, let me even push it back a little farther. There, it's kind of like that, where it's like really, really wonky. So we can't really file it to make it like rounded. It's wonky. So we're going to cut our form like a puzzle piece to slide this in together. So let's grab another form. I know you guys love this, right? Okay, here's another form. All right, we'll grab this one. We'll grab our double walled one here. Okay, same. Always grab this. Always in the middle. Always split the back. You will get so used to doing this over and over and over again. You're like, oh, this is nothing to it, right? The first time I learned custom form fitting, I kind of wanted to cry. I was in some pretty intense classes, and it was from some people from Hungary, actually. And learning custom form fitting, I was like, I don't know why. I don't know how. It stressed me out. I was crying, but it doesn't anymore. Now I'm like, oh, there has to be an easier way to explain this. That's why I'm here for you guys. Okay. So nice and rounded, kind of hold it up to our nail. And you can see, hey, obviously that's not going to slide in there because this is our hyponychium. There's no like getting in there to do that. So I kind of hold it in there the way I want. And we're going to scratch in exactly to kind of match this. Okay, like this. So basically, I just matched the shape here and matched the shape here. And now we're going to cut that out. And I'm going to draw you a little picture too, because I think that always helps when you can see. So we'll go like this. Cut down our little scratch. All right, so it's kind of like this funny little shape, right? But watch the magic right before your eyes. And I need to take off a little bit more right here. I didn't do it perfectly the first time. It's really okay. This is custom. It's like a dress fitting, right? All right, there we go. There we go. Bam. Do you see that? How smooth that was. And now our form fits. That's crazy, right? It's puzzle to puzzle. It's not hard. And then put your two little pieces together on the bottom. And then make sure you do your little 45-degree angle. So our 45 would be here and here. So let me cut those bad boys real quick. So 45 here. 45 here. I know that looks pretty crazy, doesn't it? But I'm going to show you something here. One of these forms, I'll grab them. All right, slide that in there. Slide that in there. There. All the way up and around. Overlap our little guys in the back. Move our little corners out of the way. Do this a little more. Got it. Okay. There we go. Custom fitting. Christine, I hope that answers your question, what you do when you have a crazy like nail that doesn't fit right. And then you want to make sure that you squeeze this all the way around the finger, right? You don't want a fat nail. That's one of the reasons that we're custom fitting. And we want this so that now our product comes straight out here. With having those little 45-degree angles, it almost like it acts like a dam for our gel or our acrylic. It actually kind of stops it. So looking down the side, you see nice and straight over here. Now, if you were to do a square nail, this is something else I forgot to point out. So you don't want your whole end, opening it up here. You don't want your whole end squeezed together. Did you know that? If you want to do a square nail, you want your end actually rounded. So as you bring your product out, you have that nice, beautiful C curve. If you want a stiletto or even oval, that's when you're going to pinch this really tight. There you go, like that. If you want a coffin or a ballerina, you will also pinch this really tight, but then you'll blunt your edges. Okay. It all comes down to what it's going to look like down that barrel. So if you can visualize what it looks like down the barrel with acrylic or gel coming down the sides, that's going to help you. That's going to help you a lot with your form fitting. So just remember, it's open on the end for square and squivel, but then it's closed for like round, oval, stiletto, and like coffin. Okay. So there, that's kind of one. Couple more things there. All right. I saw another message. Okay. What must you do when you're applying acrylic and the form moved out of place by mistake? Okay. Or the people that have the really fat thumbs and the form is not wide enough. Okay. Nope. That's such a great question. Man, Stacy and Christine, you guys are like on it. And you guys, if you have questions, like throw them up in the chat. We'll totally talk about it. So someone has a fat thumb, okay, Megan Fox, who's like this beautiful actress, right? She has one of those fat thumbs and it skips generations. So like her kids won't have it, but their kids will have it. So it's one of those, they're like little club thumbs with really, really short fingernails. You can make them fit, but it is custom fitting. So you would take your forms and you would end up probably cutting. That's why I say it's really important to have one with wings. So for example, let me grab another one here. Okay, here's another one. This is another one of the crystal nails. This is one of their new, their new shapes, I guess, new shape of form. And it even has like your 45 degrees. Like this is perforated in so many cool ways. Like this is more for like super extreme nails. And they come from Hungary. So that's what that is. But if you had somebody whose nail was wider than this, you would have to just cut on the outside. That's why the wings come into play. You really want that for stability and for strength. Okay, always. And then, okay, if the form pops off, I know how this feels. You could be doing the most beautiful nail and then the form like slips and all of your product starts like sliding down. Okay, if I'm doing, for example, acrylic and I'm here and I'm working on it, I may actually hold the form in place while I'm doing all of my sculpting. Okay. And it doesn't take me very long. I just do all my sculpting and let it like solidify. If I'm doing gel, I actually might do the same thing, hold it in place and do like a flash cure. That's one of the nice things about those little flashlights that we have now. You can do a flash cure. If you have moved on, and I know, I mean, it takes 60 seconds for something to cure. Acrylic wise, so to where it's not going to move. If you are not willing to like hold on to that tip for just a few seconds while it cures, you might need to just rearrange your time frames a little bit, like allow yourself to do that. It doesn't happen all the time, right? It's just more like once in a while. When that happens, or if I know it's going to happen, I just hold it into place. Now, if it happens accidentally, and let's say it's on the pinky and I've already moved on, and now I go to take the form off and I see that it's already slipped, you know what I end up doing? I end up taking off what slipped. I might file that down and just reapply, because you don't want your client, like you don't want to fake it and be like, oh, I can fix this. Some people would add more acrylic or gel and then flip it over and file underneath the nail. You don't want to do that. Just take it off, slide a new form in there and reapply. So that's what I would recommend. Definitely. So, okay. I see another question. Hold on. Ooh, this is so fun. Okay. Yep. So Stacy, I hope that answered your question about those really, really, really like those crazy nails. What's really cool about that though, is with like Cover Pink acrylic or cover pink gel. What's so cool about that is now you can elongate that nail and you would never know that it doesn't have a nail that grows the same way. So that's awesome. And Christine, you are very, very welcome. Okay, so we've covered round, like how to change the angle of your form. We've covered if we leave it open or shut at the end. We've covered how to cut and custom form. Let's see here. Someone says to show something one more time. I'm sure I can. I sure can. Let me show you how to cut this at a 45. Okay, yeah. So I'll just move that one out of the way. There we go. Move that out of the way. Grab this pretty girl here. All right. Okay, so let's grab this one. Now, I'll just show you, this is pretty cool. So this form, these are stiletto nail forms. So you can do your square or you can do your stiletto, but they actually have a perforation of like where that 45 would go. But let's see if that perforation matches up to the nail, okay? Right, so pull it away. Wow, super sticky. All right, take our dot. Pull the back apart. Roll it in between our fingers. Okay. All right, and then we're just gonna slide that in there ever so slightly. Okay. So you kind of figure out where you're gonna hold it. This is just a nice shaped nail, so we don't have to worry about changing the shape. But where the free edge, let's see, this is our little free edge, and the form meet, it's actually right here. And I always kind of scratch it in. And then right here, scratch that in, take it off. And we'll 45 here. And we'll 45 here. So I don't know if you've seen like teeny, 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 tiny scissors like this. These are like the best. I love them. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We'll slide that in there like this. Always kind of grab the sides before I hit my corners together. Make sure our little corners meet good, like this, like this. Make sure our line goes right down the middle. Overlap in the back, move our little corners like this. It could feel like it takes a long time, but it really, really doesn't. Especially like once you get the hang of it, you're like, oh my gosh, I got this. Right, so there we go. Nice, right? I hope that helped you to see that at least one more time. Okay, so back to our recap, just making sure. Okay. Yep. So Mary Beth, you had asked, like, what if there's no nail for the form to slide under that free edge? It just bumps into the skin. Is it strong enough to hold acrylic without breaking? Great question. Okay. So yes, the answer is yes. Now I understand like I had problems with my hands like forever since I was a kid. And so I was a nail biter, and to try and slide a form under there was super uncomfortable. But where you can, like, this sticky is so sticky, it does actually adhere to your skin just a little bit, right? So you can find a way to slide that, just like kind of bump it up to that natural nail, and it's going to stick. And then it's going to stick here, and it's going to stick around the bottom. So it is strong enough to handle that. Now, I know the nail biters though, to where they have chewed and chewed and chewed so bad that now they have, like, the nail is really, really pressed in, and then the skin bumps out. I think, you've probably all seen nail biters like that. In that case, I probably would tip them. Or if I was adamant about using forms, I would probably put a tiny little bit of acrylic down actually, and like make a free edge, like fake a little free edge and then slide in my forms then. So that would be what I would do, but I'd probably tip them. That's probably where I'd start. So, okay. So we covered our shaping, like which form fits for what shapes, when to leave it open and when to close. We covered our 45-degree angles. We covered how to custom fit a form. Now I was going to draw you a little picture and this will help you, I'm sure. I'm going to move Matilda out of the way for just a second. See, I told you her name changes. Okay, so, all right. So if this is our fingernail, like this, and this is our finger, we'll do another one. Here's our fingernail. Here's our finger. And here's another one. These are the 3 different ones that we worked on today, okay? Here's our finger. Okay, so this one, we made sure that to cut the form was like this. So here's our form. We'll say that's our form free edge. We cut 45-degree angle here and a 45-degree angle here, okay? If we think about this is going to fit up to here, kind of like a little puzzle piece. Is that okay? Now this one, let's say that this nail is short, 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 and square. And here's our form. How are we going to cut it? We're going to cut it up like this and across like this so that it matches that shape, right? That square shape. And then we'll cut it. That 45-degree angle is going to be about here. And then it'll be about here. Okay. Then we have this guy. And the fingernail is like this. It's all wonky. AKA me, Phoenix Van Dyke, has this wonky nail. We're going to have our form like this. And we're going to cut it like this to match that wonky nail. And we'll cut our 45-degree here and our 45-degree here. So there is like a little bit of a diagram. And then you know that you are going to fit that form up there. You're not going to have seepage. Nothing's going to be falling or breaking. That's just, isn't that nice? Kind of a nice little diagram for you. So that is form fitting. Now I want to show you something. This is like a little bonus. Okay. I'm kind of excited about this. So let me bring Matilda back here. Okay. Now I had said something about showing, this is just a little trick when you want to do extreme shapes, okay? Now this is a piece of metal. It's just a roll of very, very thin metal, but it bends and it stays in place. And I bought a roll of it at, I think at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, something like that. And this is what you would use if you want to do like those crazy shapes. Hi, Lisa. It's cold where you live and warm where I live. Okay, so you've seen those shapes, you guys. You've seen they look like dragon scales, or you've seen where things just look so like the long extreme, or the edge, or all of those different nail shapes, the Gothic almond, the Russian almond, things like that. Okay, this piece of metal is what can help you with that. So let's grab a form here. Okay, so here is an example of a really long form. This is one of the Koopa forms. Okay, extra long. We're actually not going to take our little dot. we're going to leave it there for the time being. I'll just remove it and put it on the paper. Okay. We are going to take this and we're going to apply it here. Okay. And then we're going to bend it into the shape that we want it to be. Make sure you bend it really good, but it's nice and firm. You can see that it's super firm. So if you were wanting to do, you know, a stiletto that is 2 or 3 inches long, this would be a really good way for you to do it. Okay. So we'll just pretend that this nail is the one that we want. Pull this up here. Figure out where we want our 45s. Want a 45 here and a 45 here. All right, we'll cut it there, cut it there. Now, if you were going to need to do some customizing, if you wanted to customize this, you know, where this is at first, where you would slide that into the nail, you would definitely do that first and then apply your metal. But because we're using like the easy nail, okay, slide this out of the way. All right, you want to make sure that that's not too narrow at the top, and then you can kind of pinch this into shape here. Okay. Slide that in there. With a stiletto, this is just kind of a cool thing. I am the stiletto master. No, I'm not a master, but I love them. I competed. This is crazy. I competed in Nail Olympia 2017. And one of the categories was stiletto, and I did it. And normally you have a model, and I decided to use myself as a model. I did it on myself. Isn't that crazy talk? Yeah. All right. So you just kind of have to work with it for just a second, kind of get it where you want. And of course, when you have a hand that doesn't really stick, you know, it's silicone, it's a little difficult, but I'll get there. All right, there we go. Make sure your edges are all together. Look under there. Oh, goodness. Matilda is not feeling like she wants to cooperate today. So that metal is, you can get it at like Hobby Lobby, or you can get it at, I know people have gotten it on Amazon and they've been fine with it there, but it's like I want to say like 25 gauge, maybe that might be the gauge, how thick the metal is. But it's like tin. It's just a piece of tin, or you can get a little bit thick aluminum. All right, there we go. Sorry, as I was fighting with her. All right. So then we'll turn her hand to the side and then move her back so you can see the whole finger. Check that out. Beautiful, right? And then if you were to do like full stiletto, you follow that all the way down. So pretty cool, you guys. Really, really, really cool. And that's a wrap. That is one of like the special little treats here at the end. So before I let you go, I want to talk about a couple of things. So I'm going to be doing these classes every Wednesday at the same time. It will always be 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The login code is always exactly the same. So the one that you use today, and you can join me anytime. I want you to come every Wednesday. Tell your nail tech friends to come. And so next week, let's see here. Next week, we are talking about how to sculpt a nail. We're going to do with a form, and we are going to be sculpting, I believe, pink and white acrylic next week. So that'll be good. So it'll help you like refine your smile lines, things like that. So this type of class, we are offering these kinds of classes free until April. And then we're offering a membership, and this is through Mirage Spa Education.ca. And that is, we're offering this membership where you get 4 classes a month, one every week. And then you also get what's called Ask Beauty Questions, which gives you the opportunity to meet and ask questions to a beauty professional, like somebody who's like a big name in the industry. So it might be someone who has done research and development. It might be somebody who has won competitions, or maybe somebody who writes magazines, but it all has to do with the nail industry. So you'll get all of those things. And you also get access to a private group on Facebook, and you have access to me anytime and all of the people that are members with you. So you'll get these free classes until April, and then we'll have a charge for that, but it'll be very, very, very small, because it's definitely worth it. It's education for you, and you're getting all kinds of stuff. Yes, the membership is going to be so wonderful. In addition, you guys get deals and you get promo codes. So this week, let me tell you what our promo is. So this is it's the nailtech store. That's what I was talking about with my hands earlier, right? So the nailtech store, this week, the code is promo 5. Okay. And you get gel polish colors. It's buy 2 and get 3 free. Now these are gel polish, okay? But instead of being in a bottle, they're in a pot. And we want to give back to the nail community. A lot of, there's been so many problems with being able to get products in and all of these different things. And we have the products and we want it in your hands. So check this out. This is bright blue. Beautiful. Check that out. And I know you've seen this. I know you've seen where they're starting to use pots as opposed to bottles. Well, we already have them. So super, super, super pigmented, very good. And then there's no waste. Never, never any waste. You can get all the way to the bottom of the pot. So there's that one. This one is Purple Maze. Check out this. This is so beautiful. So Cheryl's popped into the chat, and she is telling you guys it's nailtechstore.ca. And once again, it's buy 2, get 3 free. So that's a big, big, big savings. And they are UV LED and they are soak off. So this is the black. So just kind of cool. So that's our promo for this week. Isn't that amazing? Yay! So yeah, free classes until April. So I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, just like shout them out to me. I'm here. What do you want to ask? What do you want to know? I'm here. Oh, Cheryl is adding a couple things too. So the nailtech store is a professional store. So it is the Spa One. Wait, where is one? Here we go. Spa One brand, and they have a lot, like everything. So not just gel or gel polish, but they have acrylic and they have hard gel. Their hard gel line is absolutely fantastic, and it's all professional. So you'll definitely. Does it leave white having staining issues? So Valerie, is that like if you had a pink and white underneath and then you're going and you put the gel on, like gel polish on top of it, you're wondering if there's staining issues? I would think, depending on if you're using acrylic or if you're using gel, either one, and you have white, your white, you should be able to just like buff that down. Or if you were concerned about staining, I would use a base coat, but gel is non-porous. So gel, you shouldn't have any staining. Acrylic, I don't think you would do that either. I just think you could just like buff right through it if there was any. If you're having staining or discoloration, it really could be like maybe your product, I guess like sometimes chemicals can stain or turn a white kind of yellow, or if maybe your brush is contaminated, that can turn a white kind of yellow. I'm trying to think. I mean, I know a lot of stuff about nails, right? If I don't have the answer. Okay, so let me pull up the chat here. You said soak off gels after a day or two has staining. Oh, it's a problem with the white. Is this, you know, we don't have a distributor in Trinidad and Tobago that I know of. I know we don't have one yet, but I am sure that we can do international shipping. Cheryl would be able to answer that question for you, Christine. And, you know, either way, I can keep in contact with you and we'll make sure that you get what you need. So, okay, so Valerie, is it the white? Is it acrylic or is it gel? I'm wondering. I'll just like give you a chance. I've never had a problem with my whites being stained. So that is what it is. We'll figure it out. I will help you if you want. You can contact me. You can PM me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And also, I know like a couple people already left, but if you could follow us on social media, Mirage Spa Education, and we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, and we're on Facebook. So follow us in all of those places, and then you're going to see a lot of the updates, like all these things that are happening. And then we'll get that special group like set up for everybody. So that's my story, guys. That's it. I hope I did all right. I hope you feel like you learned something. It's just like, yeah. Thank you so much. It's like clap, 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 right? All right. Thank you guys so much from Argentina and Trinidad and Tobago and Indiana and all of these different places all over the world. We got to come together today, and I'll be here next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. So, all right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.